Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Today is Thursday, the 23rd of April, 2020, and welcome to the show. Now, let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. Pork shortages coming to America in 2 weeks from now, roughly. They're having trouble keeping these pork packing plants and these meat packing facilities open in the United States because of the COVID virus. And, uh, here's the thing. 15% of America's hog slaughtering capacity has been shifted offline. Here's the thing about all this. We are undergoing food shortages in the United States. Like things like pork, stuff like that, certain items. But this thing is going to manifest itself in other countries in a much worse way. There's a big difference between a food shortage. That means food's in short supply, it's hard to get, and prices go up. That's a food shortage. There's a big difference between that and what's called a famine. A famine is when there's no food available. I'm not anticipating that in the United States of America or here in Canada. I'm not anticipating a famine. What I am anticipating, though, is food shortages. And we're already actually seeing it, but I see it getting worse, the food shortages, as this problem goes on. But in countries like, I'm anticipating famine in certain countries. And yes, maybe even countries that could be almost considered to be developed nations. Nations like possibly even China and India, when this thing really gets bad, food, not just food shortages, but famine, famine in countries in Africa and places like that, undeveloped countries. I'm anticipating that this could yield famine to the world. This what's going on right now, because even in normal times, some of the countries in Africa and have trouble feeding their people. But, with things going on like this, it can just push that situation into a whole new zone. Let's take a look now, at what's going on with the price of things today. $23 up for gold, $17.38. This is the best it's looked for a while now, And what we're looking at is gold prices starting to rise. So is silver. Silver's up 25 cents at 15.32 today, which is very good, I like to see the gold and silver spot price. Not that it really matters that much to the price of the real physical metal. This is a market where they manipulate the price of gold and silver in the real physical metal. Let's take a look now at cryptocurrencies. And you know what? We are actually seeing cryptocurrencies starting to catch a bid right now. And the Bitcoin dominance is remaining low at 63.9%. That's a good signal that the market is strong. When you see Bitcoin dominance rising, that's not a good signal. But we're looking at a Bitcoin price today of $74.48. And it's holding in there nice and strong. We're looking at Ethereum at $188, XRP at 19 cents, Bitcoin Cash at 238, Bitcoin SV at 196, and Litecoin at $42.80 today. Now for the Dow Jones, 23,802. It's up 321 points on the day, or 1.37%. We're going to take a look at crude oil. Crude oil's up $4 on the day. It's at $17.81. I'm going to tell you what happened with crude oil here. They didn't have any place to put the stuff. And so these wells were continuing to pump. Demand fell off a cliff because nobody's hardly going anywhere because they're all these stay-at-home orders and everything. And so they're not using that much, and all the planes are grounded. They're not using jet fuel or anything, so they're not using that much crude. Normally, the world uses 100 million barrels a day. Suddenly, that dropped off. I don't know exactly where it is right now, but it's probably fell back to like 50 million, or maybe been cut in half or whatever. So there's been a crude inventory build because all these wells continue to pump, nowhere to put it, and so the price fell down to negative $37. Means if you bought a barrel of oil, they'd give you $37 to take it. That didn't last long, and I know the reason why is they are controlling all the markets, you know. But this took them by surprise because this was something that they just couldn't push a mouse button to fix it. The Fed, in the Exchange Stabilization Fund and so on. They just couldn't push a mouse button to fix this because first they had to find some place to store it in order to take it, And I imagine there was some awful scrambling going on to find some place, maybe inside a mountain or gosh knows, in maybe pouring it into old containers, whatever they could find. But they found something, and now they're buying it. And they've pushed the price back up to $17.81. They're buying it. I just feel it. I just feel it in my gut that the central banks are buying the oil to keep the oil price supported. But they're going to have to buy the awful swack of this stuff, and they're going to have some place to put it. They're probably going to need barrels to put it in, and then they're probably going to have to store it. Maybe gosh knows where they'll be stuffing it, But they're going to be buying this oil, and anyway, they've got the price back up to $17.81. Phew, boy, there's another one they've got covered. They're having to cover all these bases, right now during this crisis, and it's not easy. But they're manipulating every single market now. Let's take a look at U.S. Treasuries. We're looking at everything below the 7-year is the yields are rising, and everything above the 7-year, the yields are falling. And we're not looking at substantial moves today in Treasuries. We're looking at a 10-year at 0.614%, and the U.S. 30-year at 0.19. So the 10-year is well below 1%, Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index. And it's over 100. It's 100.8, but it's dropped off 0.31% today so far. We're living in a very turbulent period. This virus has not passed through yet. It's going to during the course of the summer. What's going to happen is right now they're talking about trying to get different countries back to work, getting different areas back to work and stuff. As soon as people start to get out and mingle, we're going to get a little bit of a resurgence in the virus. The first wave is pretty much moved through now, and so we're probably looking at a second wave. This thing's going to hang around into the summer a while, and come fall, it's probably going to start to disappear. That's when I'm expecting, in around September, October, that's when I'm expecting a very slight, not a real strong economic recovery, but a little bit of an economic recovery coming up in that area and period in time. But that's going to have a huge effect upon the price of gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. Because that means that the deflation's going to settle back, and all of this money that they've created over this period of time is going to start to filter its way down into the economy. They've created a tremendous amount of money, the central banks have. And I think they're probably going to start, before this is over, they're probably going to start distributing it more to the people rather than just $1,200. At least I'm hoping that's what they'll do, anyway. Because it's not fair. It's not fair because here's the thing. The average ordinary Joe out there, he's got mortgage payments to pay. He's got food bills to buy. He's got doctor's bills to pay. He's got electricity for his house he's got to pay for. He's got car payments to pay for. He's got, and the list just goes on and on and on. That $1,200, because he's not working, that $1,200 isn't even going to make it halfway there. You know? What's he going to do for all these other bills? Credit card bills, it's just, the list goes on and on and on. And, that $1,200 has tided them over for a little while because they've got their checks and everything, But the thing is probably not even 2 weeks from now, they're going to be needing more money. And it's going to start to manifest itself into the general economy if they don't get out there and start pumping some money to the average Joe. The average Joe, this isn't cutting it what they're doing, And these mortgage card companies, these credit card companies and stuff, why don't they defer that payment on to the other end, Why do they need it now? Why don't they say, okay, we're going to give you people a 3 or 4 month break here, a little payment holiday, and we'll just tack it on to the other end. These greedy sons of a guns, they're so greedy for their money, it makes me sick. Anyway, listen, I'll catch you guys in the next show. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.